Hey honeys, welcome back. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification so that you'll know when I upload my next video. Tell a friend, tell that friend to tell a friend, and so on. Everybody subscribe, come back and see me. Y'all, look at this. Isn't it cute? Well listen, if you want to know how to install this hair, keep watching. Okay honeys, we're going to hop right into this braid pattern. What I did was I used the plait and chain method. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what it looks like to me. So I plaited the front portion of my hair, and everywhere that I wanted to have a part, I made sure to link those braids to the braids underneath it. All the other braids are linked towards the back of my head. So what I did with all of this beautiful hair is braid it down into 6 straight back cornrows. I did use a portion of my hair to do an anchor braid. All I did was section a portion of hair from ear to ear, and I'm going to braid this across the side of my head and link the hair from the front into this braid. And because I didn't want that braid to be too bulky, I went ahead and twisted down all of that extra hair. So while I'm twisting this hair on screen, what I'm going to do is explain to you all the purpose of the braid that I call an anchor braid. I use that braid as a stopping point from the front of my hair to the back of my hair. So when my hair is parted, you don't want your part to look like it's going from the front of your head all the way to the back. So that anchor braid allows me to stop that braid pattern in the front, and it closes off the part so that I can wear a side part or a middle part of my choosing. Now you all don't have to do this. You can just do the cornrow straight back and make sure that your parts aren't lined up to the parts that are in the front of your head. Now while I braid this anchor braid, I am very gentle while adding in those twists from the front. As you can see, I mistakenly left out one twist on the right side of my head, but that's okay. When you're doing your own hair, guys, sometimes you make mistakes. Don't fret about it. Just make sure that you problem solve and keep it moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the cornrows straight back after I finish braiding the rest of that anchor braid. So at this point, all I'm going to do is show you guys what I do to make sure that my whole head is completely flat and all of my braids are linked, and then at the end I'm only going to have one tail braid. Again, don't fret about the mistake, y'all, because we can fix it. Okay guys, so here I'm just going to do a traditional cornrow. So I do start to braid the hair a little bit before I start to include the anchor braid into it, and I do that because I do want a full density installation, and I will be crocheting a few pieces of hair on that anchor braid that isn't attached to my scalp. So that's why I kind of made it into the shape of a C, so that I can ensure that I have pieces of hair that fall over that thinner area on the side of my head. So after you're done braiding that tail, all you're going to do is flip it up and braid it into the next braid that's going to be parallel to it. The same way that I joined in that anchor braid, that's how you join the tail ends to the parallel braid beside it. So here I'm just going to fix that mistake on the right side of my head, and instead of braiding down a little bit first, I go right ahead on and add that tail from the front of my hair into the braid, and then I'm going to do the same thing that I just explained to you guys. Flip it up and braid it into the parallel braid next to it. As you can see, all of the braids are linked together, and now I just have one tail end that needs to be tucked away. So what I'm going to do next is get my crochet hook, and I have a small hook or needle, whatever you call it, and I'm going to go ahead and crochet that hair into the other braids so that it's flat. I also want to mention that the braids on my head are not tight, and I did leave a little slack for that last tail end. As you saw me flip it up, I kind of pulled it down a little so that there would be less tension on the hairs in the nape of my neck.
My hairs at the nape are very fine, so I have to be careful with my braids, but I assure you there is no tension or no excessive tension on my hair.
Okay, so the hair. I got this hair from Amazon. You get 6 packs in a whole bundle, and it is 20 pieces in each pack. I wash the hair before I use it because y'all, wash the hair before you use it. So I installed 4 whole packs and then 5 out of the 5th pack. So how many is that, y'all? So if it's 4 with 20, then 5 more, 85. Okay, so I have 85 pieces of hair in my head.
Okay, honey, so this is the next day and I have the freshly washed hair, and I did keep it on the little string that it comes in because it's easier for me to dunk the hair in the water and then make sure that all of the hairs are together once I get it out, rinse it, and let it drip dry overnight. So again, I'm using the small crochet needle, and we're just going to go ahead and start this crochet process. So as you can see, it's easy for you to loosen up the lock and stick your finger in it so that you can get that pre-loop opened up, and the hair does have 2 and sometimes 1 piece of curly hair also sticking out of it for that boho look. So on the side, I did not crochet through the actual braid. I just crocheted under the link because again, the hair on the side of my head is very fine and it has thinned out some, so I'm making sure that I'm careful with that portion of my hair. If you don't have that issue, you can go through the actual plait. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a few more insertions, and then I'm going to speed it up and show you what I did to the back of my hair. Okay, honeys, so for the front portion of my hair, I went through each section where the plait was and made sure that I crocheted a piece of hair there. I used 2 packs in the front and had 2 singles left, and I'm going to go ahead and crochet those singles on the part of the anchor braid that is not attached to my hair, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Okay, next what I do using the crochet needle going in a downward motion, I go ahead and crochet 1 piece of boho lock at the very end of each cornrow. So I first crochet 6 across the back, which fall over the nape of my neck, and then what I do is I go ahead and start to crochet up each individual cornrow that's in the back of my head until I get to the top. Now once I'm done, you will see that there is extra room to crochet a few more pieces, but because I'm doing this just by my sense of touch and I'm not looking at it, I went back once I did my final density check and filled in that portion of hair that still needed pieces on the cornrow. Okay, so I'm just doing a final check for the security of those last pieces that I installed, and we're going to go ahead and work on this anchor braid. So guys, when you do this, and if you decide to do an anchor braid like I did, make sure that you're not crocheting underneath the entire anchor braid. The anchor braid is going to be the thickest braid on your head, so what you want to do is crochet here on the bottom portion of that braid as well as the top portion of that braid. And how you do that is avoid going underneath the braid, and you're going to go through the braid instead. I should also mention that that is my process for each cornrow. I do not go underneath the cornrow. I always go through the cornrow. It's just a safety precaution for the health of your hair, because if you're continuously going underneath the braid, you're going to have to shove that crochet hook or needle underneath a lot more hair, and it's just going to be more difficult, and in the end it does cause tension on the hair because it becomes very tight if you do it that way. Okay, honeys, so I'm going to show you what the hair looks like. At this point, I've installed almost 4 packs, but I am going to go back and crochet on the top of that anchor braid. As you can see, the front density was to my liking, so you can see spaces in my hair and you can see some of the parts. So that's what I'm going to cover by crocheting more pieces on the top half of that anchor braid, and then you'll see the full density in the next clip. And here we are. My hair is completely done. It is the density that I desire, and as you can see, you can't see the parts in the back of my head any longer. And even if you do see some of the parts, that gives it more of a individual look. And as you can see here, you can part the hair on the side or down the middle, and the density in the back looks the same. That anchor braid also adds a little volume to your hair, and as you can see, it did its job because my parts do not go all the way to the back of my head. So I am very happy with this process. Okay, honeys, and as you can see, the plaits in the front of the head give the illusion of an individual look. My hair can be split and you can't really see that it's crocheted, and that's exactly what I was going for. So it turned out beautiful.
Okay guys, that's it. If you want the information on this hair, it is going to be down below in the description box. So make sure that you look at that so that you can get the deets on this beautiful hair, y'all. And as far as the braid pattern, I know that I didn't show you guys how I did the front portion of my hair, but I was tired, so I did that off camera. Nonetheless, you see what I did. There are a lot of different videos on this platform that show you how to do the exact braid pattern that I did in the front. Now the back of it was me, the anchor braid, that was all me, but the front I definitely got that from other channels, so you guys can check those out. I will also put links to a couple of videos that I watched down below in the description box so that you guys can take what you will from those videos, because on this platform, y'all, sharing is caring. Okay, we all do very similar things, so I'm gonna let you know who I watch, who I learned from. I have no problem with that, so check it out. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. I'm sending you all peace, love, and a whole lot of light. Bye.